You've now transitioned to a new government as someone who uses the sector. And as the article was talking about, 6 months on since the shock disability cuts, can you tell us how is it for you 6 months after the incumbent government made these decisions when it comes to you looking after your son, the benefits your son had, the resources he had compared to what's going on now?
It's night and day, to be honest. It's hard to know where exactly to start. I suppose we come under a couple of different categories when it comes to disability funding, but the pinch that I have felt the most is the changes to respite. So right now here on my laptop beside me, and if you hear the bell ding, I'm going to run out of the room immediately, and I suggest you mute my microphone because Eddie's a nocturnal epileptic. So his seizures happen exclusively at night.
Okay.
Hence why I'm up. I don't sleep a lot. And although technically you can use respite for anything that gives you a break from caregiving, and I'm caregiving during the day as well, it's the stuff that I find really exhausting. The staying awake, the being screamed awake if I fall asleep. And I know that it's perpetual. We've just come out of winter, and winter is always, for any disability, I'm not just saying it's particular to epilepsy, but we all find winter incredibly challenging just because there's more germs. So all the immunocompromised whānau are struggling to manage and contain illness. And with illness, especially for something like autism, which is primarily an affect regulation disorder, it comes with behavior. So it's not just the sickness. You also have somebody who can't express the pain and discomfort that they feel. So you're fielding that, which, depending on the child, might come with some aggression or violence or self-harm, injurious behaviors. And for me to not be able to pay for somewhere to stay means that my only option is in-home respite. And if you can hear your son screaming through the walls, you're not getting the sleep that the respite is meant to afford you. You're also probably going to get up and do the caregiving that you're paying somebody else to do, just because it's not a job, it's a labor of love.
Can I just clarify? Can I clarify one thing, Katy? Because you can't go anywhere. Are you saying that under the previous government, respite care would be you'd go away and get a break for a night or something, and now that can't happen? Is that the actual change? The funding model has changed.
So the funding. So this is the thing. The funds might be there, but the exclusion criteria across the board, no matter which funding stream you're looking at, has changed so dramatically and so much. It's not like there was just that pause on March 18. The changes have been coming thick and fast up until last week. The other day, every time I ring up to confirm that my pre-approval for the things that I've already been assessed for Edward's needs is still valid, there'll be something new. It's like, oh no, you can't submit that it's out of date. And I'm like, what do you mean it's out of date? RDA, the Writing School for Disabled, just sent me that invoice. You can see on the email, it's not even 24 hours old, but the date on the invoice is outside this new exclusion criteria because they bill after Edward's done all the lessons at the end of the school term. And they're like, it's not a fresh invoice. I'm like, it's a fresh invoice. They just sent it to me. I'm a solo mum. I live in Auckland. So my living costs are just the highest out of anybody everywhere. And I'm not currently working. So now I'm saddled with debt and a boy who potentially can't continue something that is incredibly therapeutic. It's equine physiotherapy, and it's incredible for him. It's amazing for him, and he's already had to stop so many other things.
So Katy, because I'm a bit slow, and there'll be other slow people out there as well who will need us to count this. I really want to nail this down. You're saying that you do the activity, equine, did you say physiotherapy?
Yeah.
So he does that. You then get the invoice at the end of it, end of 10 sessions, 2 sessions, whatever it is.
Mhm.
You then take the invoice to the correct department within the government to get reimbursed like you would have done under Labor, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
And they say what?
They said, no, the dates are out and it's not fitting the exclusion criteria. It's like some recency. I haven't got it in on time. And I'm like, but this is new. And he's already done the lessons.
Yeah.
And it's something that's been pre-approved.
So what happens to that invoice of $600
It's now,
or whatever it is?
It's mine, and it's way more than $600.
Yeah.
It's way more than $600. So it's now my responsibility. I have to magic this money out of thin air after, the most expensive calendar month for me, because my power's through the roof and water's through the roof. I've had to buy extra medicines because he's been extra sick. And on top of that, I don't have, when I've got a sick child at home, like Edward's currently awaiting emergency surgery. So he's on the wait list. He's a high priority patient, but I've been told that for his type of oral surgery, the wait list is anywhere between, and I quote, 2 weeks and 2 years.
Wow.
I've never had Edward's, kind of always coming in for like acute surgery or emergency surgery. It's, it's never like, oh, this is an option. It's a nice to have. It's like no, we need it. We need it now. When we went in for one tooth last year that had a cyst, the Max Fax surgeon was like, okay, I'll see you, if not next week, the week after. That was really easy to kind of apportion time to. And ordinarily, with his current situation, which is 12 adult teeth requiring surgery, he's in a world of pain. I would never send him to school, but I also can't feasibly keep him home from school for 2 years. Plus, the school will be probably kicking us out because we're ruining their averages, by having him away. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, I got you.
The ableist rhetoric runs further than the disability cuts, but the impacts are really widespread.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly hard to pin it down. Like, yes, there was this quote unquote pause, which is obviously a hard stop, but there have been further changes to different funding streams all the time. And it's so destabilizing for me as a carer, but also for Edward. Like the worst, I think, was we just had his autism drama class just cancelled. Like, we can't continue. There is no funding. There's nothing left in the kitty. Next Friday will be the last lesson.
So that was a course that was paid for with government money. So rather than you getting invoiced, it just had to stop. Is that what you're saying?
No. So we paid a fee, but we didn't appreciate, the parents did not realize that there was a co-payment from government.
Okay.
And
the co-payment stopped. So that stopped the course.
Well, it was that, but it was also the timing, because carers who had previously been able to use their respite or carer support to pay for their portion of the fees could suddenly no longer use it. And so parents weren't able to meet their contribution fees as well, because without that additional money from their kitty. So it was kind of like, it was from both sides.
Yeah, double whammy.
It was a double whammy. They were like,
Yeah.
well, fees are not coming in on time or with, at the rate that they were previous. And I'm like, but you know why? And they're like, no. And so I kind of explained to them on their side, and they're like, well, also, we just do not have enough from our side. So even if everybody was paying their fees on time, and even if everybody paid the full amount, it still wouldn't cover the 100,000 gap that we have to fill. And I was like, yeah, we can't give
Katy,
you